So I'm Renee Roadhamel, and I'm the manager of our online classroom space, which we are using the learning management system called Moodle. And so that's what you'll always hear it referred to, Moodle this, Moodle that. So I'm going to start right at the Moodle homepage. I know in the previous session with Eric, Eric Steinert, the tutoring center, he actually walked everybody through going from the portal and into Moodle. But let me just start right here instead. And I'm going to just give some tips on kind of, learning Moodle, finding your way around Moodle, and working on perhaps even practicing using Moodle if you're feeling a little intimidated by it. So the first thing I want you to be aware of at the home page here, you do have a left navigation that we're also used to with websites. But this left nav does collapse if you click on the gray square above it. Okay, that's like an on and off switch. So if you need more space, then you can hide that and bring it back. Also, another thing that Eric did mention about this right column, which you do have, in fact, a lot of instructors do put content over here on the right side. And keep in mind that if you're using a mobile device or even a tablet, that everything that shows up over here on the right on a computer is going to very likely be at the bottom of the page instead. So, and even, like if I squash this right now, okay, see how that all disappeared? And it didn't really disappear. It just went below the rest of the page contents. So that's all. If you're looking for stuff that you might think should be over on the right-hand side and you're on your phone or tablet, then go look at the bottom. Let's go over to the student resources page. This is really a great space for you to get resources, get help with things regarding Moodle. And you can find that in two ways. One is that it will very likely be over there in your left navigation, student resources. If for some reason you aren't finding it there, then again, over on the right-hand side, where you've got student resources and also, as mentioned in the previous session, the tutoring page is here too. So I'm going to click on student resources. Okay, so I'm just going to point out a couple of things in here. I'm not going to show everything. One thing I wanted to mention, if you do need to go to the testing center for a proctored exam, and you click here, then you can schedule your appointment for Sierra Vista campus or Douglas campus. So these links are here for your convenience. And also, if you click here, testing center information at the Cochise College website. So if you need additional information about the testing center, just go ahead and click on that link. Okay. The other thing I wanted to point out is that if you feel you need practice before you interact in your classroom, then come here to a Moodle practice and FAQs. All right. At the top is kind of, an FAQ list. There's also a great little tutorial right in here. If you want to add your profile picture in Moodle and you can't quite figure out how to do that, there's a 1-minute tutorial video on how to do that in Moodle. Okay, so here's the practice activities below there. There's 3 very common assignment types in Moodle that you're going to see in all your classes. Not every class, but these are very common. Forums, the assignment activity, and quizzes. Oh, and the Turnitin activity as well, excuse me. So right here, we've got instructions for how to post to a forum, a video tutorial, or written instructions. Here, you can just practice, so feel free. Other students come here and practice too, so you're going to see other student posts. Assignments, same thing. How to do it, written instructions or a video tutorial. And then you can go ahead and go in here and you can practice submitting an assignment before you have to do it in your real class. Same thing, some quiz instructions and quiz practice. Finally, the Turnitin, which is most often used in English classes, but other classes as well. So if you feel like you need to practice submitting to this type of assignment, we've got the practice activity here as well. Another thing too that's really important is that we have instructions on how to view instructor feedback. So I would definitely suggest that you have a look at these so that you know how to see what your instructor has said about what you've submitted. We've got that for Turnitin, and let's see. Oh, we've got it right here. How to view instructor feedback video tutorial. Okay, so those are like really, really helpful if you're feeling a little bit nervous about using Moodle if this is your first time. Okay, let's see. I'm going to show just a little bit about our live chat. So in Moodle, we do have a live chat feature. It is primarily for Moodle specific questions, but we do answer a lot of other questions too. We can't go deep into answering, questions about financial aid, for example, that you do need to contact financial aid office. But I will show you just by clicking over here. The live chat is in the lower right corner of every Moodle page. It's this circular red button here. Okay, and I know everybody's pretty familiar with how you use live chat. This one is a little bit unique in that you can return to these chats at any time. They also copy into your email if you have to leave before we answer you. And so that's really nice. You get like a duplicate, a copy of our response from and in here as well. So here, I'm going to click on the send us a message button. Okay, now one thing you'll see is that there is a button for self-serve topics. So this can be really handy for after hours when we're not available or on weekends, for example. But there's not a lot of stuff here. So if I clicked on that, okay, then you're going to see that there are a handful of more buttons. So for example, let's just say that I want to find out where I can find the Title IX harassment training because I can't find it. So I click on this. Automatically I get some instructions. There's also a picture. Well, that's really small, right? Just click on the picture and it enlarges. When you're done reading it, just click it again. All right, so that's very handy. Now, let's just say that wasn't enough information and I want to leave a message, so I'm going to click on that button. Now, I've got Edward's actually waiting for us. He knew, I already warned him ahead of time to be handy because I wanted to demo a couple of things specifically. So just say hello to Edward here, and he jumped on it right away. He said hello to me before I even said hi to him. And what I want to point out, besides the fact that you can go back and forth and interact here, I wanted to show you that if you felt like you needed to meet us over, say, voice or even video, we can do that right through this live chat. So I'm just going to ask him, well, see, I didn't even get a chance to ask him. He's so on top of it. So basically what he's doing is he's sending me an invitation to actually join him in like a video conference that's very much like Zoom, okay? It's just Google Meet instead. Now, of course, we can't click all the way through this because we're in the middle of a Zoom meeting right now, but if I were to click here on join this call, then another browser tab pops up. And of course it's saying camera failed because I'm using my camera right now in Zoom. But you can see that you can leave your camera off if you want to just talk voice with us. And then you would click the join now button. So that can sometimes be faster than just typing, but that's fine, that's up to you. You certainly don't need to do this. Most of the time, we just type back and forth and work with a student to get their questions answered. Okay, the other thing about this chat window right here is that here's the back button at the top of it. okay? And down at the bottom is simply the down arrow for closing it. And as I mentioned, if you wanted to return to a conversation, you can see I've got like a long list of conversations, of course. But I can just click in any one of these and go back to the conversation. And just down here in the text box, I can just start typing again. So you can just have an ongoing conversation with us over many days if need be, you know. Let's see, how am I doing for time? Uh-oh. Okay, I'm like 1 minute over, so I better stop now. And let me
Well,
stop.
one question real quick, Renee, can I
Oh,
ask, what are the chat hours? How often can we expect somebody to respond right away on
right. Yeah. So right now during the semester, we're available from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And I will caution that, you know, we can't always answer just immediately. There's just a few of us on staff in the Moodle department. We do get extremely busy sometimes. And so, you know, please understand and be patient with that. And that's why I did mention that sometimes you do need to leave before maybe we're able to answer you right away, but we definitely will answer, okay? And on weekends, I do kind of look in, but certainly with unscheduled hours, I sort of check in for any kind of emergency, but that's not necessarily anything to count on per se. I'd say definitely you can just count on the Monday through Friday, 8 to 7 p.m.
Those are great hours. Thank you. Was
Okay.
there anything else you wanted to make sure everybody knew about Moodle before we?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'll throw one more thing in. And this hasn't been working so great on Moodle in the last couple days. I think maybe the system might be overwhelmed, but on every page in Moodle, we have the course textbook link. Oh, I quit screen sharing here. Let me go back real quick. Okay, so the course textbook link over in the right column, if you click on that, and hopefully it won't fail right now, it's been failing off and on. Okay, there we go. So if you were to click this for student, then you give it a moment. So then you would choose your term, and I am registered for a class, and that's okay. I don't mind you all seeing that. And so you would have your whole list of courses that you're currently enrolled, and you can click there. You can see what your textbook is. You'd be able to follow through to the purchase page. It's very convenient. Okay, mine isn't showing anything because I actually don't need a textbook for this class. That's all that's going on there. So that's a nice convenience for being able to look at your textbooks and even click through to a purchase page. So there you go.
Thank you so much, Renee. That was you
Yeah,
captured a lot of information in
I know.
13 minutes or so. So we really appreciate all of your information and really look forward to hearing your next piano recital.